Okay, so 18v1 is up. Now we put 18v2 up. Life is so boring for me, bro. Like, it's just boring. Streamy. I haven't watched a movie today, it's lame. Tried watching Dune and the subtitles were way off. I have to get a different version that matches the subtitles. That's crazy. That would be weird, seeing what you look like from third person. Bringing Palpatine back. I still haven't seen that movie. Apparently it was awful. I keep saying, like, I played, I watched the first one. I thought it wasn't that good, but surely they could make it better, right? Looked like it could lead into something good. The first new Star Wars. And I watched the second one and I was like, damn, this is way worse. This was a terrible movie. Surely it can't get worse than this. And everyone says the third one's worse. That's crazy. And they say the third one is worse. Bro, this is loud. How are you supposed to get these birds? I feel like this is cheating as well, using this thing. But you literally can't see those things, they're like invisible or something. Damn, it's almost 10. I watched a bit of The Simpsons on TV. They weren't great episodes, but it's entertaining, I guess. If only I didn't miss the one in the afternoon. It's on 3 times a day. Once for an hour in the evening, and then once for like one episode earlier in the day. And that episode earlier in the day is usually the better episode. What? It just took the rest of it off. Window. Bumper. Oh, that's cool. It shows you your thing afterwards. Wait, you can do another one? What? No, this is massive. Yeah, I think this game is kind of just work. I'm glad to have played the demo. I don't want to do all of this, bro. This is gonna take hours. Let's do something else now. It's a Japanese thing, right? They like to use a lot of plastic, don't they? How does the how does the pigeon know the cat's pregnant? How are there so many of them? Oh, deliveries, yeah. I get it so many times a day, whatever. I run out of money. What the fuck? That's a tray. Yes. Chocolate eclairs, so good. Filled with cream or something. That was really good. Worth it. Best eclairs ever. Way better than the $12 one I got another time. That one wasn't good at all. I gotta weigh myself soon and start staying under per day. Holy shit, this muffin is pretty bad for you. What the fuck? 12 grams of saturated fat. How do they even do that? I won't be getting one again. 1.5 grams of salt. It's still quite bland. Of course it won an Oscar, bro. It's the American Awards. They always give the foreign film or whatever documentary to some bullshit that is anti whatever the United States doesn't like. This is called Indulgent Chocolate Muffin. It's not indulgent at all. Or whatever. It's really mid. That's Kermit the Frog. The eclair was like a 10 out of 10. Um, the muffin's like a 3. Yeah. And I got a meat pie. Because everything at the petrol station is cheap. Not a great pie. Is that how you spell it? Never doubt yourself. Some Gressel poor taste. What shall I do? I was supposed to play Life is Strange, but I didn't feel like it. It's gonna go everywhere, right? Of course it's gonna splatter. So bad. The fuck? These people got too much time and money, bro. And energy. Making all this stupid bullshit. It's always Americans as well. The United States has too much money, too much time, too much health to just do stupid bullshit. 25,000 votes. sick of saying these stupid ass stock subreddits. What the fuck? That is not real, right? Move to Africa. Should have just got like 5 eclairs. I'm struggling to find something fun to do. I'm not gonna play GTA, it's so boring. So many people know me on it now as well, after I used to chat all the time. It's not gonna be aliens. This isn't real, is it? Who wants to learn French? That's only spoken in France and like a couple of other former French territories. So boring, bro. The Americans are like so focused on themselves. Oh look, there's an up. They translate news articles from other languages so you can find out what they think about the US. Not just translating stuff into English, specifically about what the people think about the US. Stupid, bro. Not just translating stuff into English. That sucks, bro. This looks like Animal Crossing. Why do they run like Naruto? Look at how big their hands are, holy shit. It's crazy, they got a Vietnam Grand Prix. What is this stupid stuff that keeps flashing on my screen for like a second? Have I got a virus or something? Jesus Christ, it's annoying. Little windows pop up for like a second. What is that? It's so annoying. Like, what have I got running? Chrome, OBS. It's probably fuck-ass malware bytes. It probably is. Fuck off mal. It just decided to start running itself on startup. I never asked it to. It's still happening. Epic Games. Go be Epic Games. Why is this like the exact contrary? Why did he draw that one exactly as it usually is? And this one. What are these things flashing on my screen? This is so annoying. Okay. Come on, Malwarebytes. I scanned more than 6 months ago. I'm sure I did one recently. Imagine if I've got a virus. What was this from? A dome. I was gonna say dome. How did they get 200,000 people there, bro? Crazy. I hate this fucking name, it's so annoying. What the fuck? Oh, that's sad that the cat died. KMS isn't a virus. And the night is on. Princess Mononoke, bro. You gotta be trying to be arty or something. Come on, that's not that good. It's not even the best Ghibli film. Okay, maybe he's not lying about it. The House always does that shit because the Democrats always attacking the Republicans. That's what they do. What kind of question is that? It's a paradise. It's just like, why? I get to suffer with ME/CFS and society doesn't do anything about it, right? Because society is fucking great for like 90% of people in the West. The strong do as they can, and the weak suffer what they must. And I'm the weak. Unfortunately. It's just a stupid life I have to live. Because the average person, healthy, well person, doesn't care enough. government doesn't care because the people don't care. We live in a democracy, right? That's quite interesting. What are we, like big machines for bacteria or something? I'm tired. Suddenly a choice. He cucked himself when he committed fraud. Like, what the fuck? This whole company was a fraud. He was only able to buy that because he was a fraud in the first place. Yeah, but that's the same thing, isn't it? Isn't this the same thing? If it had most of the things which have political pressure, economic impact, and advocacy for these things are things which affect large groups of people, or which large groups of people are interested in. Large groups of people don't care about ME/CFS. A lot of people actually know that ME/CFS exists, but don't really care about it. So, like, you can't educate someone on it, and then they say, oh, well, I don't care, and not call that a form of tyranny, right? Well, that's what's happened, though, isn't it? They have accepted harm by saying we don't want to pay for it. You're letting people suffer. It's like there being a treatment for something or a way of managing it, which there is. You can make people's lives better and they suffer less, which they they refuse to actually do any of those things so that they can benefit their own needs better, right? So they can spend more money on the stuff that they want, essentially. That's how it works. And it seems like a lot of people don't think that people with ME/CFS need support as well. The New Zealand government doesn't believe that people with ME/CFS need support because the only way that they can get it is by it being recognized as a disability or by receiving funding, which neither of these things the government wants to do. There isn't a major party in the country that supports recognizing ME/CFS as a disability, literally. There isn't. Neither of the two major parties even recognize it as a disability. So you're not even represented at all. It is deliberate though. It is a deliberate we don't want to fund this. It doesn't have anything to do with there not being a framework. If they wanted to, they could set up a framework and have a framework for it. The reality is they don't even do that. They don't even come up with a framework because they don't want to fund it. It's as simple as that. The New Zealand government doesn't actually want to fund people with ME/CFS's lives getting better. In the same way that none of the major parties, and in fact, I don't think there's a single party that is against forced drugging, forced medication, which is another issue. Cost saving alone is enough to explain it. It's because there are few people and they can save money, so they tell them to fuck off. That's how it works. It's because there are few people who have it, and because they can save money. This is fucking bullshit. What is a strong force supposed to be when the people can't fucking do anything? What is it supposed to be? This is insane. You're giving me literally no options. People with ME/CFS supposed to resort to like terrorism or something. Because what else can you fucking do? The government does nothing. The government does absolutely nothing to fucking help you. They don't do anything to help you. The people in the country don't do anything to help you. No one helps you. They let you suffer and rot and live terrible, terrible lives as they all enjoy themselves at the same time off of the resources that everyone contributes to. All the tax money gets spent on everyone else. People with chronic fatigue syndrome get none of it. They don't get any of it. They get a terrible, extremely low sickness benefit, and that's it. It's totally corrupt. It's totally corrupt. No, I don't want to hear how they evaluate conditions like this, because it's totally corrupt. It's totally based on Can we save money by not spending on these people? And will people complain about it? Will people do anything? It's the same thing. There's no difference. It is tyranny of the majority. The majority of people benefit from people with ME/CFS suffering specifically because they get to spend less money on it. And there is less complaint. Right? If they can... If the majority of healthy people can get away with spending less money on sickness and disability issues without a large number of people complaining about it, it doesn't recognize it in terms of it being a disability. The government doesn't recognize it as a disability. It's insane. Many people still fall through the cracks. No, they don't recognize that it exists as a severe condition, which is they don't recognize it exists as a disability, like being blind, or it's literally, if you look at how bad it is, being blind is nothing in comparison. You can live an entire life being blind or deaf or whatever, and it's not that bad. This is fucking terrible. This is like kill yourself illness. This is like you should just kill yourself because it's that bad sickness. It is fucking one of the worst sicknesses and disabling things you can have. Seriously, it is fucking terrible. Other people with other conditions absolutely get this stuff. That is how it works in this country. When your condition is recognized as a disability, you get government funding for support, for services, which could have happened if they'd actually recognized ME/CFS as a disability, which they don't. Why is ChatGPT defending the government on this? Why is it doing that when it is blatantly fucking obvious the reason why they didn't do it is to save money? That is the only reason why they wouldn't do it. It's not because ME/CFS isn't severe. They could come up with a criteria which people could meet to get access to services, such as can you drive, can you not drive? Okay, if you can't drive, we'll give you discounted taxis or something, which they do for a lot of people. The reason why they wouldn't expand that is to save money. That is the only reason why they wouldn't do it. It has no other justification why they wouldn't do. Why would they act like this? It's to save money. That's the only reason. The only reason why they've denied it being recognized as a disability is to save money because they think they can get away with it. And they can get away with it because so few people advocate for this sickness. And so few people are able to. It's not, they don't even fund anything for ME/CFS. There's nothing. There's literally nothing available. Well, they do actively endorse not increasing funding to these areas. They do that. That is done. And they fund other stuff that doesn't matter as much. It is government policy in every government, on left and right. It is government policy, though, isn't it? Seriously. It's not hard to standardize. You look at how severely debilitated people are by it day by day, And you go off of that. It's not hard to standardize at all, actually. There is standardization. It's fucking stupid. That's corrupt. There's little pressure. So you should resort to terrorism. How else are you supposed to put the pressure on them? Because they don't listen to individuals. They don't even listen to organizations. They had multiple organizations representing people with ME/CFS. Multiple organizations, like 3. And those people presented the case, and the government didn't listen to them. At all. The government didn't give a shit. Government didn't listen to them. Three organizations and other people presented the case, and the government didn't even listen. That's not it. It's not just because people with ME/CFS can't advocate. It's because when they do advocate, no one listens to them, regardless of the number of people advocating. It's exceptional. It is exceptional how disregarded people with ME/CFS are. Seriously disregarded. It only has, say, oh, there's low visibility. It only has low visibility again because people disregard it whenever it comes up. It gets disregarded. Look, the best you can expect from people is that they're wrong about it. If they even know it exists. The thing is, when you have people trying to make it visible, it doesn't gain any traction regardless of how many people are there, regardless of how often they do it. It doesn't make any difference. Seriously. The media doesn't focus on it. It gets no media attention because they don't want to cover it. There is a societal will to not focus on this issue. They're not acting unless pushed, and what's going to push them? What's going to push them is force. Because arguing doesn't work. They've shown that over and over and over again. You can look at the statistics. ME/CFS is one of the worst conditions you can fucking have. It is debilitating. That's why you don't see anyone around with it, because it's so bad. Most people, a large number of people, are stuck at home all day, every day. Like me, I go out once a day, a couple days a week, and that's it. Because I'm not able to. Not because I don't want to, because some fucking retard, including my retarded parents, think, oh, you just don't want to. No, you fucking retard, I can't. You fucking retards. It's just insane. There is public will where people know about this to disregard it. Literally. And to call it, oh, it's a mystery thing and nothing can be done about it. No one wants to do anything about it. It's not nothing can be done. It's there's no public will to do anything. There's no public will. No one lobbies the government. No one contacts the government. No one does anything. Nobody cares. The public doesn't give a shit at all. We live in a democracy. The government does what the people think it wants. The government does what it thinks the people want it to do. Right? To get votes. Funding ME/CFS apparently won't get them any votes, so they don't do it. Because people aren't voting on that. It doesn't matter to people. People, like, massive numbers of people will vote on something as unimportant as, like, transgender issues. Massive numbers of people will vote on that as like a fundamental, and no one gives a shit about ME/CFS. People don't even know ME/CFS exists, even though it's like about the same percentage of the population as people with chronic fatigue syndrome. It's like 1%, maybe. If you round it up, it's close to 1%. Possibly. Maybe not. It's a bit less than 1%. Transgender people are like 1% of the population, right? It's insane. That's a social issue. It's not even a sickness. Seriously. Low visibility. You know why it has low visibility? It's not because people don't do anything. It's not because the people don't go out and protest. It's because when they do, the media covers it as a like, oh, and there's nothing we can do about it. Yes, you can do something about it. Fund services for people with ME/CFS. Right? Fund research. First of all, fund services. Fund research. What works? You say, oh, there's little pressure. How are you supposed to put pressure on? How are you supposed to put pressure on when they won't listen to arguments? Right? I don't know how to spell skeptical. How do you convince someone? Let's just say. How do you convince someone if they're just going, oh, I'm skeptical? Yeah, well, you know what? I'm suffering, and I need to not suffer, and you need to do something about it, because that's the only way it's going to change, is if other people do something about it. In large numbers. We live in a democracy. You have to have large numbers or power, and how are you supposed to get power? Right? By force, essentially. What are you telling people to do? Right? What are you saying? Here's what you need to do. Pressure, it says pressure. How are you supposed to apply pressure when they won't listen to arguments and they ignore protests, and the media frames it as a there's nothing that can be done issue? How is anything supposed to change, right? Politicians and the general public refuse to recognize or even listen to arguments. They just deny it every time. What was the second part? In order to get them to do something, you have to either have large numbers or some kind of pressure, right? Therefore, is either large numbers, which you don't have. I was supposed to write about the media. The mystery framing is also not helpful because mystery makes people when you say it's a mystery, inevitably a bunch of people are going to say, oh, I think it's just, oh, I've solved the mystery, it's just not real, and people are making it up. It's not a mystery. The vast majority of cases are post-infectious. Just call it post-infectious. The ones that aren't post-infectious, it doesn't matter. You need to go with what is most obvious, what is most concrete. It's concrete that most people get it after an infection. Right? They need to stop fucking talking about, oh, you can get it from this cause and this cause and this. The more vague and open they make it, the less seriously anyone is going to take it. That's how it is. The more open and complicated they make the conditions seem to be, not in terms of symptoms, but in terms of like, oh, what even is it? The more they do that, the more people think, oh, it's just not real. Because it seems absurd when you say, oh, like emotional distress causes it. What? How do people get like severely sick from just a bit of stress? Well, a lot of them actually don't. It comes from post-infection. Like COVID-19, like long COVID. People don't even take that seriously and they know exactly what causes it. It's post-infection sickness. Right? Large numbers which you don't have. Or some means of, quote, pressure or force. Which is like, that's when you say, oh, what do you want? You want people to do terrorism or something because you're giving them no other options. Because you don't negotiate. They don't negotiate. The general public doesn't care, and the politicians refuse to recognize it as a debilitating condition. That's as simple as it is. The general public that is healthy cares more about. They don't care at all. They won't vote on it. They won't vote on ME/CFS. It's as simple as that. Yes or no. Will ME/CFS determine your vote? Yes or no. Otherwise, they'd all be voting for the Green Party. Are they all voting for the Green Party? No, they're not. The Greens are on like 10% of opinion polls. That means 90% of people are voting for a party that doesn't care about ME/CFS at all. And the Greens don't even give a shit. The Greens don't even care about ME/CFS as a significant position. They don't really care. Right? It's actually not their policy. They don't even seem to know that it exists. And they're never in an actual position to have influence over the government regardless. It's not seen as serious to them. That's the reality. The New Zealand politicians don't think that ME/CFS is actually a serious condition. Right? the public doesn't care. If they even know that it exists, they probably don't care. So the politicians of the major political parties they don't take it seriously, and the general public doesn't care enough for it to influence their vote at all. So the politicians are like making light of it or not taking it seriously, and the public doesn't care. So you have essentially one group doesn't think it's that significant or that bad because they have no empathy for it, right? Have no empathy for ME/CFS. And neither does the public, because they don't care. They don't care enough for it to influence the vote. And you would say, well, if someone were to act on it in a violent way, you would be bringing attention to it, and you would be doing something serious. And people would have to take it seriously then, because how could you not take it seriously if someone did act on it in that way? What else are you supposed to do? Tell me honestly, because ChatGPT is giving me nothing. ME/CFS campaigns have been extremely poorly performing for how much has been done. They organize campaigns every year, and every single year they achieve nothing. They don't achieve anything basically anywhere. There might have been a tiny bit achieved in Germany, but that was just research funding and not actually making people's lives better who have the sickness, right? It's insane. Nowhere in the English-speaking world does protesting about ME/CFS ever achieve anything of note at any point at any time. It never achieves anything. Protesting never achieves anything when it comes to ME/CFS. It doesn't achieve anything. It doesn't work. You can't protest and get people to listen because it doesn't matter. They say, oh, if a large number of people supported it, they would do something. No, because even when you get large numbers of people who know about the condition, they don't give a shit. It doesn't. They're so detached from it. It will never be an important thing in their minds. It will never be an important issue for these people because they cannot physically and mentally comprehend what it's like to have the sickness. They cannot actually, on a physical, on a biological level, they cannot understand what it's like. It's too far away from them. They don't get it. Unless you have the decision making being done by people who actually have the sickness, you will never get anything done. It'll never change. It'll never happen. No matter how many people you get supporting it, it won't make a difference because people actually don't care. Even the people who know about it don't care. That's the thing. They say protesting to draw attention to ME/CFS doesn't work because of bullshit media narratives and detachment from healthy individuals. They don't get it. They don't get it. A healthy person can't understand what it's like to be this badly sick all the time for years on end. They can't understand. They cannot understand. That is why the decision making needs to be done by someone who actually has the sickness, which they're not going to do because it doesn't have public support. It can't get public support because people don't get it and they can't understand it. I don't think you can fix this issue. I don't think you can at any point get large numbers of people into ME/CFS protesting and stuff and actually have it do something. I don't think you can do that. I don't think that would work. I don't think it would work. I think ME/CFS is exceptional in being an issue which you can protest about so much and it will never do anything. It will never do anything. Because people have protested and it is like exceptional how little it has achieved. They have achieved so little. They protest every year, sometimes multiple times per year, different protests across the world, and every fucking year it achieves nothing. It doesn't achieve anything. You think, like, even if the people with the sickness couldn't go out and protest, like, they could get people they know who aren't sick to go and do it, and they can't. Or they do, but it doesn't make a difference. It just doesn't work. Protesting, the thing which they always tell you to do, this is what you're supposed to do in a democracy, you're supposed to protest. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's never worked for ME/CFS. It's never achieved anything. In pretty much any place, it hasn't achieved anything. Has never achieved anything in any English-speaking country that has actually materially improved the lives of people with the condition. It hasn't done that. They protest all the time. Not all the time, but every year they have protests. And every year it achieves nothing. Because nobody cares. The general public doesn't care. The politicians don't care. It seems like the only people that care are people who have the condition and a tiny number of people who are like supporters, who are like really small in number. They hardly exist. I don't have anyone who supports me. For example, I would say a lot of people with ME/CFS don't know anyone who supports them. Right? This is the condition where your most common issue with the general public is trying to get them to believe that a condition you have diagnosed by a doctor actually exists. That's the first point of issue, is so many people don't even believe it's a real condition, and nothing apparently in their mind will change that. So interacting with the general public is just, it's insane and it's impossible. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Okay? That doesn't work at all. It's bad enough interacting with other people who have the same condition and they're like arguing about, oh, well, I don't have this. Oh, well, it's different for me. Yeah, obviously, because it's not the same fucking thing for absolutely everyone. Bro, I went to a support group, and they were like trying to tell me, oh, you don't have it. What the fuck are you talking about? I literally meet the fucking criteria. These people didn't even have the condition. They were just administrators. These were just admin people. Trying to tell me, oh, you don't have it. Shut the fuck off. That was the Christchurch group. They're absolute dog shit. Absolute dog shit, that group. You know, and they were saying, oh, because you're young and stuff. And like, oh, that doesn't sound... I was talking about, you know, mental fatigue. And they were trying to say, like, mental fatigue isn't a thing with ME/CFS. It's like one of the most fundamental symptoms. It's one of the most important symptoms. And like, arguably, if you don't have it, you meet the criteria less if you don't have it. Literally. If you don't have cognitive impairment, you don't meet one of the things which is an extra criteria for it. It's an extra criteria. The one of the criteria is the extra thing you have to have is cognitive impairment or orthostatic intolerance. I don't have orthostatic intolerance, I think. I'm not sure, but I don't think so. I do have cognitive impairment. So it's like these people don't even know what they were talking about. It's how are those people supposed to be organizing stuff? These were people running a group for it. It's insane. Like, shut the fuck up. They didn't even have the condition. What were they talking about? Making shit up, basically. Just making shit up. So you can't argue with politicians about its severity, or bureaucrats, right? People who work for the government, about its severity to get services and resources to materially improve people's lives. So that would be one option. It doesn't work. It's already been tried in New Zealand. It's failed. Absolutely, it's failed. They came back with nothing, right? Second point, you can't just protest slash try to run media articles to get public support, public attention and support for the issue. There was an MECFS documentary on Netflix. Like, what is happening? Nobody cares. So you can't argue with politicians. This is what they want you to do. This hasn't worked. This fundamentally failed. Okay? In New Zealand. And pretty much everywhere else. You can't just protest, try to run media articles to get public attention and support for the issue. Because people don't care, and it won't influence their vote, or influence them into lobbying politicians, which it doesn't do, because people don't care. What are you supposed to do? You can't get politicians to change. You can't get the population to change. We live in a democracy. That's the only way you can actually do anything legally. Legally, the only way to get something done is if the politicians in power agree with you, or the population does and they vote differently based on it. That's the only way you can. The only way. All you can do is lobby politicians or leverage the population to vote for a different party that supports it. And that's it. Because they already do it for a whole bunch of other things. There are clinical guidelines. Why do you need local ones? There are already clinical guidelines that exist. You can search them up on the internet. Specialists don't exist, so you can't get specialist opinions. This all already exists. It all already exists. This isn't going to work. This isn't going to work because the public doesn't support it, and neither do the politicians. That's not going to change. That's not going to change. They're not going to do anything until there's some massive crisis as a result of it. Otherwise, they won't. The reason why they treated AIDS, HIV, is because there was a crisis about people dying from it. That's the reason why they did something about it. When nothing is going to change for ME/CFS until it becomes a fucking crisis for people. You have to make it a crisis for them as it is for you. You literally have to do that, or they won't take it seriously. They won't take it seriously unless you make it a serious issue for them. That's literally how it is. It's not going to happen. That didn't work. See, long COVID existed, and it didn't change anything at all. Didn't change anything. I hate being alive. I wish I was dead. They should just kill people with ME/CFS, honestly. If you ask for it, you should be allowed to have state suicide or whatever it's called. Why do you have to live with this? They force you to live with it by refusing to allow you to kill yourself. Get me a gun and I'll kill myself now. I'm tired of being alive. It's never going to get better. I know it won't. This will never fucking change. I know it won't. I know it won't because it never has. It never has, and it probably never will. There's a high probability that this issue will just be perpetually forgotten about. It will always be forgotten about. This is fucking insane. Yeah, how about terrorism? That would work. That would bring attention to the issue. Like it's brought attention to the transgender issue. How many transgender terrorists have there been? And every time there is one, they say, oh, we need to help transgender people. We need to make things better for transgender people. They're literally getting what they want out of it. They get attention and they get support. Right? Why do people with sickness not resort to terrorism? Because the state's not doing anything about it, and they're choosing not to because they don't think it's a serious issue. You have to make it a serious issue by forcing serious effects on these people. It hasn't been at all. There hasn't been any progress. They're gonna say, "Oh, the people protested about the forced exercise, the graded exercise therapy." Yeah, well, that was obviously bullshit. That was so easy. You would have to be insane not to agree with it, because even people who worked on the paper came out and said it was trash. It didn't actually materially improve the conditions for people with the condition, though. It didn't actually improve people's lives. It just prevented them from getting even worse. It's just like, it's insane that you even have to do anything about that. Oh yeah, the clinical guidelines. Yeah, that was just the removal of GET, which should have never been in there in the first place, because it never helped people. It just shouldn't have even been in there. There isn't greater a lot of people still think it is psychological. A lot of doctors think it's still psychological. A lot of people still think it's psychiatrists. Every single psychiatrist I've been with thinks ME/CFS is a mental illness. It didn't come from protest at all. Long COVID hasn't done anything. Hasn't done anything at all. It's not a big shift. It didn't do anything. Everyone was thinking it would do something, and then it didn't do anything. This is bullshit. See, that hasn't worked. That hasn't worked. That's not the reason. I've seen, like, at least 100 people protesting. At least 100. That's not it. It's not because people who have it can't do anything. There have been people who've done things about it. Yeah, of course there's no large voting bloc because people in the public don't care. And the media doesn't care either. What is salience? That's so useless. That is, you never use the same fucking word in the definition. More research isn't going to make people suffer less. The criteria isn't unclear. You measure the suffering. And there is not budget constraints. That's not going to work. That is not going to work. That is not going to work either, because that takes forever and changes extremely little. Why do they call it supported living? It doesn't support you to live at all. It's not a support. Like, that's all you're expected to have. That's not happening. That isn't working. That doesn't exist, because what is that even supposed to be? I hate my fucking life. God, I wish I was dead. This is never going to change. You're giving me terrible suggestions. Absolutely terrible suggestions. Haven't been enough. They haven't achieved anything. They've failed over and over and over again. What do you mean haven't been enough? They have been extreme failures. You can name like 3 things that have changed in the last 15 years. You can name like 3 things. And they're extremely minor things. Tell me seriously, have they materially improved the lives of people with this condition? No. No, they haven't. They haven't materially improved the lives of people with this condition at all. They haven't done that. This is fucking bullshit. You haven't improved anything materially. People's lives are not better. See, look, cognitive issues are a fundamental for the British one. I've got all of those, right? I don't necessarily have pain all the time. I used to, but now I don't. Sometimes I get headaches. I don't think headaches should be a mandatory one. A lot of people have pain, some people don't. It's not a mandatory one. It literally says debilitating. Like, and apparently New Zealand hasn't accepted this. Because this isn't the consideration in New Zealand. In New Zealand, they say fatigue for 6 months and that's it. So sick of being alive, honestly. Infection. I'm so tired. And all these bullshit articles. Who cares about this shit, bro? Uh-huh. See, that's what I think it is. I think it's the nerve being damaged by illness, by infection. Bunch of psychiatrists. They're like, oh, but we think that the thing that we do helps people, and it doesn't. It's just a way for them to graft, because they know they won't get money from it now, because they're not going to fund services for it. I hate this fucking life. God, this is fucking hell. Honestly. Get off stream now.